right, you know what time it is. Live from the Bare Muscle Garage, it is season premiere week of Fit Crew. What do we got in store for you today? Let's go ahead and share this on screen. So in this season premiere week workout, we've got 5 rounds for you today. 5 rounds of 30 double unders and 6 kettlebell complexes. And we may be looking at this thinking, man, double unders, they still got my number. And this kettlebell complex, what even is that? It seems kind of a combination of moves that are kind of challenging to me. Don't worry, guys. As always, we're going to warm up really well. And we're going to go through all the options that will allow you to do this workout or your version of it right where you are, using what you have and doing what you can. But let's go ahead and start this general warm-up, which is going to activate the muscles that we are using in today's workout. And the first move we're going to do is the pigeon. And let's go ahead and have Bird Dog demonstrate the pigeon for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then the pigeon is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's sink into the pigeon on this side. So on this pigeon, we are laying face down. We've got the one leg up and across the chest, other leg back, and we are sinking into this pose here, which opens up the hips, activates the glutes, relieves issues that might be going on with the IT band. And let's go ahead and switch sides here. So we're going to get the other leg up and across the chest, other leg back. And on this pigeon, we would typically do this when there's a squat-based movement, but also when there's certain unilateral movements like the lunges that we're going to be doing today. It is very helpful to activate those glutes and hamstrings one side at a time. And so good job here on this pigeon. Next, we've got some reverse plank ups, and let's go ahead and have Twin One demonstrate 2 reverse plank ups for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then the reverse plank up is going to be reverse chest flies like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 reverse plank ups together. Now, this may be a bit hard on the wrists for some of us, in which case we may choose to do the glute bridge. And let's have Twin One demonstrate here. That's where we're going to lay on our back, pull the feet in close, squeeze those glutes, get the hips as high as we can, getting higher and higher each rep. But if we're doing the reverse plank up as prescribed, we've got those legs out in front of us, hands to the side, squeezing those glutes, getting the hips as high as we can, higher and higher each rep. So good job on the reverse plank up or the glute bridge, whichever version is better for us. Next, we're going to roll over and get these calves ready. Let's have Bird Dog demonstrate 2 reps of the dynamic calf stretch on each leg. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then we're actually going to do some dynamic elbows like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 reps of the dynamic calf stretch on each side. Now, it could be that doing this off the ground is a bit hard on the wrist, in which case we got you covered with some options. We could do this off of the incline. Let's have Bird Dog demonstrate here. This could be off of a sofa, off a counter, off a wall, or any other inclined surface. But we are going to get into an incline pike, bend the one knee, push the back heel into the ground. But if we're doing this off the ground as prescribed. We've got those hips piked up in the air, bending the one knee, pushing the back heel into the ground, holding that for about 2 seconds before switching sides. And so good job here on this dynamic calf. Next, we've got some lunges, and let's go ahead and have twin one demonstrate 2 lunges for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then the lunge is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 lunges together. Now, this could be a very challenging movement for some of us to get that knee to the ground, in which case we got you covered with some options. It could be that we do assisted lunges, and let's have Bird Dog demonstrate here. We can hold on to a nearby sturdy object for assistance and take a big step forward and then get that back knee to the ground and perhaps switch sides or arms after a couple reps. Or it could be that, hey, you know what? We need to just modify to some step ups, which preserves the lunging motion. And let's have Betty Boop demonstrate here. We could use a footstool or a step ladder or even some stairs if that's the most practical option for us. But we're going to be alternating legs, getting both feet up, then both feet back down. But if we're doing the lunge as prescribed, let's also make sure we have a nice surface for those knees or some knee protection. So just like we see twin one here with a surface that's protecting those knees, and we've got Iron Man Dean as well on that mat. But we're taking a big step forward, slightly to the side for stability until that back knee touches the ground. If that knee is not touching the ground, then let's modify to one of the assisted lunges or step ups as needed. But good job on these lunges. Next, we're going to grab a nice light kettlebell if we have one, 10 pounds or less, 5 kilos or less. If we don't have a light kettlebell, then any other light object will do, preferably something with a handle today, such as an empty laundry detergent jug or an empty water jug, an empty purse. In the absence of any of those things, sure, it could be a light dumbbell, a shoe, a pillow, a teddy bear, whatever the case. So with this light object in hand, we're going to do some single arm deadlifts with the object starting between the feet. Let's have twin one demonstrate 2 reps for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then the single arm deadlift is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 single arm deadlifts, 5 on each side. So on these deadlifts, that object is starting on the ground in between the feet. And we've got those hips super low, but the chest is up, shoulders back, and we are looking straight ahead. And we're going to take a deep breath in and brace that core as we drive the ground away, getting to a fully standing locked out position. And notice how Bird Dog has the other arm pointing out to the side. That's actually what we want to happen here. We don't want to be pushing off the leg. Let's have the other arm to the side. So good job here on these deadlifts. And finally, here in the activation phase, we got some strict press. And let's have Bird Dog demonstrate 2 reps of the strict press for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then the strict press is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in here and let's do 5 reps of the strict press on each side, 10 reps total. So on this strict press, we are holding the kettlebell from underneath the handle, and we've got that elbow pointing forward. And at the start, we actually want it at the front part of the shoulder, the upper part of the chest, and we are pressing that arm up and back into the ear, and then we are lowering that arm with the elbow pointing forward throughout the movement. And like the deadlift, we want the other arm off the body there, so either off to the side or, at least not pushing off the body. And so good job here on the strict press. Well, that is it for the activation phase. Now we're going to move on to the movement prep, which is where we're going to practice specifically the 2 moves that we are doing in today's workout. So the first move that we're doing is double unders, and that usually involves a jump rope. So if you have a jump rope, what I'd like you to do is to grab that jump rope. If we don't have a jump rope, then no worries. We got you covered with some other options. We can do a series of progressively more challenging body weight options. But with your jump rope in hand, first thing we're going to do is some singles. And the singles are going to look like this. So regular jump rope like we're used to doing at the playground, swing once, jump once. If we don't have a jump rope, what I'd like you to do right now is some jumping jacks. Let's have twin 1 demonstrate some jumping jacks. Or if that's a lot of impact on the legs, we could do stepping jacks, and let's see some stepping jacks here. And then from the seated position, we could do the seated variation of the jumping jacks, clapping overhead like this. So let's everyone join in. If you haven't done so yet, let's hit some jumping jacks or some stepping jacks just to get the blood flowing. And we are finding the version that works best for us. Now, after we've done about 20 to 30 reps of these singles or jumping jacks, then what we need to do now is start to try to practice some double unders. And so the double under is going to look like this. So this is a little bit more challenge. That rope goes underneath the feet twice. Ba-ba. So the 3 most important rules of dubs is stay calm, stay calm, stay calm. We need to stay calm. If we trip, we just try again, and it is what it is. Now, for the body weight options, we could do some jumping thigh slaps. Let's have twin 1 demonstrate the jumping single thigh slap. And after we get our rhythm there, perhaps we can try some jumping double thigh slaps. And if we are doing this from the seated position, we can do a double clap overhead in those jumping jacks. So let's all join in if you haven't done so yet and get some double under practice, or we're practicing these thigh slaps. And it's important to get the timing down right. So we're jumping first, slapping second, jump slap, jump slap, jump slap. And we're timing those slaps while we're in the air. Now, incidentally, this is actually good rhythm practice for when we get a rope. And so let's work on that rhythm there a little bit more, Dean. Let's get that jump slap first, so we're jumping first and slapping in the air. It definitely does take some practice. Or it could be that, the stepping jack is better for me, and we're just going to stick with that. We have lots of options here for everyone. So good job on these thigh slaps or jumping jacks or whatever version is better for us. The second move that we are doing in today's workout is the kettlebell complex, which is a combination of a kettlebell snatch into some overhead kettlebell lunges. And so let's have twin one demonstrate 2 reps of the complex on the same arm for us. That was 1. That was 2. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then we're actually going to grab a light dumbbell as well. And the complex is going to be a combination of a snatch with a curl, then back down. And we're going to practice 5 on one side, followed by 5 on the other side. So let's everyone join in here and let's practice 5 reps of the complex on each side. Now we realize this may be a challenging movement for a number of us for a number of different reasons. For instance, if we were modifying those lunges by doing either assisted lunges or step ups, then what I'd like you to do is actually to do all the snatches first. Let's go ahead and practice right now 3 snatches on each side, followed by those step ups. And let's have twin one actually demonstrate that here. And so first we're going to do 3 snatches in a row. And then we will do the 3 snatches on the other arm. And then we will put the weight down and then do 12 reps of whatever modified version for the lunge, whether that's step ups that we were doing or assisted lunges that we were doing. But if we are doing the complex as prescribed, you want to make sure a couple key things here. On that snatch, we need to make sure that we are keeping that kettlebell close to the body and we are punching that arm into the ear. On the lunge, we need to make sure that that arm stays locked out. There's no bend in that arm whatsoever. We're keeping that arm locked out. We also need to make sure we're getting the full range of motion. If we're not getting the knee to the ground for any reason, then let's definitely switch to the snatch first, modified lunge later options here. And for just a reminder here, let's have Bird Dog remind us what that will look like. Let's have Bird Dog go ahead and do 3 snatches on each arm. Boom, 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 and then switch. And then let's see 6 assisted lunges. And after she does 6 assisted lunges facing this way, she can then turn around and do 6 assisted lunges facing the other way. So good job here on whatever version of the complex is better for us, whether we're doing the complex or whether we are doing some version of the modified or assisted. Well, now it's ramp up time. If you've been earning badges and you'd like to add some weight to do either the scaled, intermediate, or RX weight in today's workout, then let's start to gradually add some weight, doing about 3 to 5 practice reps of that complex on each side, adding a little bit of weight each time. until we get to the weight that we want to use for the workout. But if we have not been earning badges, or we're just getting back into this after a long time off, then please let's not add any weight. That super lightweight, 10 pounds or less, 5 kilos or less, is going to be more than enough for us today. It's very important that we have the right form and consistency with all our habits before we've earned the right to add or reintroduce intensity, such as by adding weight or going fast. And whether we're adding weight or not, let's pay close attention to the following checklist. Number one, please make sure your device is fully charged or plugged in so we can get through this whole workout without losing you. Number two, let's grab some water. Let's take a sip. And let's make sure we got our water nearby so we could take a sip as needed all throughout the workout. Number three, I'm going to give everyone a 3, 2, 1, go countdown. And that's how you can synchronize your timer with mine if you choose to use one. Number four, music. Super important. This is not a super short one today. Simple, but these complexes are going to take a good amount of time to get through. We want some jams that are going to keep us focused, and we want to stay on track with what round we're on, how we're progressing through the workout. So, what can help us to do that? Having a playlist that keeps us on track with music that we love. And then lastly, how are we keeping track of these rounds? It's easy to lose track of where we are and what we're doing, what's coming up next, unless we are a teacher's pet and we came prepared. So if you're a teacher's pet, let's go ahead and show that whiteboard on screen. Maybe we even got some whiteboard art or some beautiful handwriting, but we are going to take this teacher's pet picture just to show how prepared you are. So teacher's pet picture in 3, 2, 1. Awesome. I'm going to bring the workout back on screen one more time, and then we'll get going. So in just about a minute, we're going to start this timer, and we're about to do this 5-round workout of 30 double unders and 6 kettlebell complexes. So on these double unders, maybe we have a jump rope, but if we have good double unders and we can connect at least 10 or more in a row, let's go for all 30. If we're still working on the consistency of those double unders, then maybe we reduce that number down to about 10 double unders per round. And if the dubs are just not dubbing at all, that's okay. We can just do 30 single unders and move on to the next move. If we don't have a jump rope, then similarly, yes, we are doing 30 reps of whatever body weight option we choose, whether that's the jumping jacks, stepping jacks, the jumping single thigh slaps, or even the jumping double thigh slaps. On that complex, let's make sure we are not adding weight unless we've been earning badges. And even if we add weight, let's make sure that we're doing the movement that's appropriate for us. So if we're modifying the lunge in any way, then what we're going to do is the 6 snatches first, the 3 on each arm, followed by 12 total reps of assisted lunges, whether that's holding on to a nearby object of assistance or doing 12 step-ups. So snatches first, assisted lunges second. But if we're doing the complex as prescribed, then sure, yes, we are doing 3 reps of the complex on your first arm before switching, doing the 3 reps of the complex on the other arm. And that complex is snatch into lunge each leg, right back down, right back up, so on and so forth. So your score is going to be the time it takes you to get through these 5 rounds of 30 dubs or singles or jumping jacks and then 6 reps of the kettlebell complex total, 3 on each arm. Or if we're modifying the lunge, we're doing 6 total snatches, 3 on each arm, followed by 12 total assisted lunges, whichever version is better for us. If you are good to go, give me a thumbs up over here and we'll get this started. I'm going to give us a 10-second countdown, and then I'm going to highlight twin 1 to get us going. So here we go, guys. 30 dubs, or singles, or jumps. 6 reps of the kettlebell complex, or if we're modifying, 6 snatches, followed by 12 total assisted lunges. Starting in 10 seconds. Let's get ready. 3, 2, 1, go. And we are off on these jumping thigh slaps. Working on that rhythm. Or hey, it could be that we are doing some jumping jacks or stepping jacks, managing that impact. And I love to see Mighty Mouse has been super consistent and dedicated doing most of these workouts from the standing position. But then, hey, that went by real quick, and it looks like we've already got Bird Dog onto these complexes along with twin 1. We're hitting that snatch. We're hitting the lunge each leg. Every snatch, lunge equals a rep of the complex. Or it could be, hey, if we're modifying, we are doing all the snatches first, followed by some assisted lunges, and that would then be 12 total lunges. Optionally, like you see Betty Boop doing here, she's doing assisted lunges, but still raising the other fists, working on that overhead position. But we are doing this thing here, guys. And it's important to note that the snatch part of the complex is from the hang, meaning we're not tapping the ground. We're getting that back between the legs each rep before going into those. So yes, looks like most of us through round 1. And we are on track to finish within today's target window. The target window is nothing more than the best way to know if we made the right choices in today's workout. And how does the target window work? Well, when we first start out, of course, we're not adding any weight. And we're doing some modified movement options. But then as we earn badges, perhaps we add some more weight and use some more challenging movement options. How do we know which ones are the right options for us? We want to pick the options and the weights that will allow us to finish within the target window of time. Not too much over, not too much under. That's how we know we're getting the right workout for us. And let's really punch out that arm. Let's keep that arm nice and straight on these complexes, getting that arm locked into the ear all throughout the lunge. We got Mighty Mouse hitting these snatches, followed by these step-ups. But nice work here, getting it done. So many of us closed out round 2, on to round 3 here. And you know what? Yes, we present a lot of different options. Maybe we decide to switch things up throughout the workout as needed. But then let's get that kettlebell back between the legs, really use the power of the hips to pop that up in the snatch, get the arm into the ear. Notice twin 1, getting that kettlebell back between the legs, but then keeping it close to the body on the way up. On this snatch, we don't want to let it get way out ahead of us. So we are popping that up, getting that high pull, keeping it close to the chest, but then punching that arm back into the ear, keeping it locked out throughout the lunges. But nice work here. We are getting this work in. And Betty Boop, let's actually let that flip down at the top of the motion there. I know you got a nice strong grip on it, but just like we see, bird dog, and there we go. And it takes some practice to punch through that and then get that down. But that's actually the added benefit of the kettlebell training. We practice the motion, and the neurological component is also very important. So notice how twin one punches through the flip on the snatch. Getting that kettlebell back, popping that up, punching through the flip, and with enough practice, that weight comes down gently on the forearm. That is one thing a lot of people are afraid of with the kettlebell. It's like, oh, it's going to come crashing down. But with enough practice and with enough confidence, we punch through the flip and we show that kettlebell who's boss. That kettlebell can smell your fear. We have to show it that we are wrangling that thing. And so we get it back, we pop it up, we punch it back, and it flips and lands exactly the way it needs to. But nice work here, making our way through this. A lot of us into round 4, hitting these jumps. Whether it's the single slap, the double slap, we are all challenging ourselves the right way. There goes Betty Boop, working on that flip, getting better with it. Mighty Mouse as well, hitting these snatches, hitting these step-ups. So a number of us closing out round 4, making our way into round 5. Into that last round, fast round. And so we know what to do when we finish. We hit that buzzer, we yell time, we cheer on our family. So let's make it through this round 4, getting into round 5. A lot of us getting on that kettlebell, getting through these jumps. Bird dog getting into this last round. Twin one, quick sip, right back on it, or done. Twin one, blazing it up. But let's keep working here, guys. Betty Boop getting much better with that flip and punch. Working on it.
Get it, girl.
Bird dog on what looks like the last set of complexes here. Iron Man Dean working on that last set of complexes as well. Getting that kettlebell back, punching it up, keeping that arm locked out. Love to hear from the cheering squad as well.
Good job, guys. Keep it up. Almost done.
Mighty Mouse working through it. And there goes Dean in his favorite victory dance across the finish line. Bird Dog across the finish line. Betty Boop across the finish line. And let's cheer on Mighty Mouse. Love to hear from the cheering squad, guys.
Go Mighty Mouse.
Go Mighty Mouse!
Get it. All right.
So Mighty Mouse attacking this next set of step ups here.
Good job.
Excellent.
Getting through it, getting through it.
Awesome job. Almost done. Almost done.
Cheering squad, cheering you on.
You got this. Come on.
Deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. And there goes Mighty Mouse. Well, that was crazy as always. But now we're at the best part of the workout, which is the cool down stretch. And this stretch is super important to help us fight soreness and increase flexibility, so we can come back day after day, staying consistent and committed. So the first stretch that we're going to do today is the saddle eagle. And it's helpful to start in a kneeling position like this, and then we sit back toward those heels. It helps a lot of people to have a towel or a pillow underneath the knees, and perhaps even another towel in between the legs here. And then with the eagle, we're just going to get one elbow on top of the other like this. And while we're doing this, let's hear some high-low buffalo. Let's hear first from Bird Dog. If we're doing this from the seated position, we're just doing the eagle part of the stretch with the elbows like this. But what is your high-low buffalo, Bird Dog?
My high was the complex, I guess, the snatch part of it, because it was starting to get heavy, but one little breath to scratch off what round I was on was enough to keep the weight somehow. So I like those, and then the low and my buffalo kind of go together. I started feeling that calf burn, thinking, oh, it's not double under, so not dubs, so I'll be good. But no, the modifications will get you just as that burn was real. So that was my low and also my buffalo. Thank you.
And thank you for showing us, hey, no excuses fitness, right? We come up with solutions, using what we have, doing what we can, getting the same stimulus. Let's go ahead and switch elbows here on the eagle. And while we're on this side, let's hear from Twin One. If we're doing this in seated position, we are just switching elbows on this eagle stretch. But what is your high-low buffalo, Twin One?
My high were the double pie slaps. The low was that snatch complex. At first it was really burning, but the buffalo was, I just kept pushing through and it sort of got easier. So I was like, this is nice. This is getting a little easier for me. So that was cool.
And that's how some of these moves go. The deeper into the workout we go, the more practice we get, the more coordination. And that's very much so once we find our groove on that kettlebell complex. So good job, Twin One. Let's go ahead and switch to pigeon. Same pigeon we did at the start, except now I want to see if we can get that leg just a little higher up. And while we're on this side, let's hear from Betty Boop. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then we're going to get the arm up and pull to the side like this. But what is your high-low buffalo, Betty Boop?
Oh man. I was trying to think about what was my high. I usually like snatches, but I guess the snatches at the same time it was my low, because when you told me to let it go and then it flip over, then I have to worry about my watch on the left-hand side. I don't want it to crack my watch, but I did it. I got through it. So that was kind of like my high and my low. And my buffalo was just how it was a really it was a strenuous WOD. Thank you.
Great job, Betty Boop. And you know what? You're not alone on the watch concern there. A couple tips that I usually give is either, hey, turn that watch around so that the face is not going to get in the way of the kettlebell flipping down. Or, hey, I know sometimes it's a wearable that keeps track of fit data and stuff like that, but if it's not, maybe we can just remove it and then put it right back on after the workout so we don't forget it's there. But good job, Betty Boop, fighting through that and improving on your snatch technique. And let's go ahead and hit pigeon on the other side. We got the other leg up and across the chest, other leg back, sinking into it like this. And while we're on this side, let's hear from Ironman Dean. And if we're doing this from the seated position, we're getting the other arm up and pulling to the side like this. But what is your high-low buffalo, Dean?
So the high was the complex. The low was a couple of things. One, I lost track of where I was in the workout, so I'm not sure how many sets I did or how many. Yeah, I completely forgot. So yeah, so that's a bit of a low. And then I was distracted because when I started to do the jumping jacks, my mats started to separate. So you know, and it confused me where I was in the workout. So anyway, so yeah, buffalo would be to get some mats that don't separate when I'm doing jumping jacks.
And you know, that just means you were throwing down hard, mats going all over the place. But hey, you know what? We learn, we observe, we adapt and adjust. And you know, it happens to the best of us, losing track of where we are, even with the best of intentions. We have the workout written down, perhaps with the best writing we can, but we still lose track of things sometimes. That's why it's good to keep it right there close by, or even have a scorecard, keeping track, making tick marks and things like that. Every little bit helps. Well, that's our WOD, that's our stretch, that's our high-low buffalo. You know what's left. This season premiere week sweaty selfie. Because does this count if we don't take that selfie? Let's flex on the camera and let's take this selfie. Sweaty selfie in 3, 2, 1. And crazy face. And let's put the fist in the middle for the cheer. On 3, 2 claps. Fit crew. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Fit crew.
Fit crew. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this program, then please give this channel a subscribe, a like, and a share. Thank you very much, and see you next time.